Hello there, welcome to Burning Spears. I'm Richard, your host for today's edition. Something fun is going to happen today. I need a little bit of a perk up as I'm a little bit hungover, and what more than some nice barbecue brisket baked beans. So there's a lot of barbecue style beans out there. I'm going to try something completely out of my head. I have obviously done a little bit of research on the internet, but I'm going to combine a lot of the flavors that I like because today is all about me, and I hope you stick around and watch the outcome. It's going to be great because I'm going to be basically be making my baked beans from scratch. So you could buy them use the bought ones. But I thought, let me make some. So I'm going to stick to a real basic recipe, similar to what you'd get in the shops. I'm not going to do too much to the actual baked beans because I'm going to be pimping that up quite a lot in the barbecue part of it, which you will see. So making these from scratch and then taking them on, putting some brisket, some smoked brisket that I've had in the freezer for a while. I'm doing a bit of a freezer dive because I'm off of work for a week, so I want to get some cooking done, get some videos made. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Hang in there. I'll try not to talk too much, and let's get cooking. Okay, a quick run through the ingredients. I've got some Haricot beans or navy beans. That's what Heinz and a lot of the other guys use. You could use cannelloni, could use whatever beans you want. It's your life. So these were obviously dried, and I soaked them for 12 hours. A lot of the recipes say 8, but I did 12, and they came out almost fresh. I've eaten about 4 or 5, and it's amazing how they rehydrate and come back to life, so to speak. So I've got about 500 grams of dried weight here, half a kilogram that I've soaked. Then I've got a large white onion, just roughly sliced. Some good quality olive oil. Paprika. 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 2 tablespoons of malt vinegar. You can use any vinegar you want. Freshly ground black pepper and some salt. So basically I'm going to be, oh yes, and of course the tin of tomatoes. Great quality tin tomatoes, always essential. So basically I'm going to be frying the onion, adding the ingredients and the tomatoes, cooling that, blitzing it up to make the sauce for the baked beans, popping the beans, cooking them for a while, and that'll be the baked bean stage. So let's get started on that. Okay, so that's cooked for probably about 10 minutes. I don't want it to cook down too much. Like I said, this is just going to get liquidized. I've tasted for seasoning. It's all pretty bang on. A little sweet, probably than I would normally make it, but a lot of baked bean varieties are sweet, so it's going to work great. I'm going to wait for that to cool down for 5-10 minutes. It won't take long out in this freezing cold, and then I'll pop it in the liquidizer and we'll do the next stage. Okay, so in the tomato sauce goes. I must say it's tasting pretty similar. I think that close that I'd actually have to taste some tin baked beans now alongside it. As you saw, I added a cup of water and some more salt and a tablespoon of vinegar just to season and balance. Still let's see if it needs another little dose of water once I add the beans. Okay, so it was a little over an hour, probably an hour and 20 minutes. I had to add another cup of water and a bit of salt, but really happy with the result. They've gone from a chalky white to more translucent. They're done, they're ready. So I'll get on with the next phase. Okay, I'm really actually very happy with the proportions. Worked out perfectly. It's not like I've made this a bunch of times, but pretty good. I'll include the ingredients and the amounts in the description below on the video so that you can replicate it. Tasting great, very nice. So I'm going to drop them down to a low simmer, and I'm going to do that for half an hour, then taste if the beans are cooked through. You don't want any sort of chalkiness whatsoever. They must just be just melt in your mouth with a slight pop, of course. And then if I have to go to an hour, so be it. I'm going to do the prep for the rest of the cook, and look forward to tasting that final product and then getting on with the second stage. Okay, right, so while that's on the go, gently simmering, it's been on the go for about 15 minutes so far. I've stirred it occasionally. It's nice and low, so it's not going to stick or anything like that. I'm going to get all the prep done for the second stage, where the bulk of the ingredients are going to get used. I'm going to be cooking it in the Kamado Joe on my cast iron pot, a flat bottom poiki. I'm going to cook that partially covered for part of the cook, and then lid off later on to get some of the nice browning and the smoke onto this. Okay, so salt, naturally, freshly ground black pepper. I've got a teaspoon of oregano, rosemary and thyme each. 3 teaspoons of curry powder, not to give it a full curry flavor, but just another layer in the background. All of that floralness inherent in curry powder will be great. 1 large onion, nice bright pepper, a green pepper, lemon to add some sharpness, some freshness, some zing, some garlic, 3 cloves, selection of chilies. They won't be too hot. Tomato paste. I reserve the right to use this depending on the look and if it needs more juice, etc. Once the beans are in and that, I'll put some in if I think it needs it. Might not need these. Probably put a teaspoon of hot mustard in there. A little bit of chutney. You could use barbecue sauce. Olive oil. Then I've got some beef stock to loosen everything up. 50 milliliters of Worcester sauce. Then this is the leftover brisket that I've had in the freezer, vacuum packed, pulled it out. It's got some nice fat on, which is going to add great flavor, plus the smoke and the bark. You can see that that's just going to be gorge in there. Then I was saving some of my cold smoked bacon offcuts for sausage, and I thought let me just dice some up and chuck it in there as well, just for good measure. So complete free reign. This isn't a worked out recipe or anything like that. just combinations that'll work, that'll look good. Hopefully so anyway. Alright, so got the pot in. I'll put the heat deflecting plates in to give me a bit of control and not so much fire and flame. Now typically before every cook, once you've stored these pots for a while, you just want to get rid of some of the old oil. Okay, now that the onions are translucent, I'm not going to cook them to really sweet onions, because I want them to be present in the final product and not just simply melt away. The rest of the veg, the garlic, the chilies and the peppers are in here. Okay, so I'm happy with the color that I've got and the look of all of it. I just want to do a good taste on season to see whether there's enough depth, whether the sweetness is there, or if it's too acidic, hopefully not too salty. And then once I'm happy, I'll put the meat in, then close up, and then we cook it for a bit. It's been about half an hour, and I had to put another cup of beef stock in there, so 2 cups in total I've used, but looking really good. Nice and loose, perfect consistency, just what I'm after. I'm going to do it for a little bit with the lid off, just to get a little bit of color on there, but really happy with what I'm looking at. Okay, so another 15 minutes. Time to eat, I think. Yep. Okay, so that is smelling so good. I'm going to dish it up on some toast, some sourdough bread, because sourdough is the name of the game these days. And by the smells of it, I'm really going to enjoy it. So let's have a closer look in at the pot and see how it's turned out. Yum. Finish it off with a bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, just because. Okay, cheers guys. Even on a winter's day, it's thirsty work. You to maintain those hydration levels. Right, this is smelling amazing. Probably not as spicy as I would have wanted it. It's got some warmth, which is nice. You never really know with those chilies what you're gonna get. It's kind of like Russian roulette. But this is delicious, great comfort food. I can hardly talk. My mouth just wants more. And it's beautiful. It's fragrant, it's herby. The aroma is incredible. It's really, I wish you could get that with smell-o-vision, but maybe one day. And the brisket, great way to use it. It's there. It's got a little bit of smoke. It's imparted of, there is a bit of smoke throughout everything because of cooking it in the KJ, lid off, all of that type of thing. Not overpowering smoke. It's not smoky per se. So that's just another subtlety that comes through. The sweetness from the veg, the sort of like stability, I suppose, is my word that the beans give. Kind of hard to describe, but that like earthiness, that body, I suppose, is amazing. Really good. You could use shop bought baked beans, obviously a lot quicker, a lot easier. But I don't quite think that they've got the same mouthfeel as fresh ones like this. They're not chalky. They are. It's hard to describe. There's like some bite to them still, so it's nice, and they're not chalky. So, as I've said, sweetness, savouriness, all around great. I highly recommend this, and I'm very happy with the results. And what a way to use leftover brisket, because man, those things are big, and if it's not a mass of people eating them, then you have a lot left over. So I've still got one piece left. I might try, I'm going to try something with a rosti or like a hash with that other piece. But I hope you enjoyed this, and certainly as much as I did making it, and I'm going to enjoy eating it. I'd like to hear I'd like to have some comments if possible, especially from my American friends, if this qualifies as something remotely authentic, like in the barbecue world. Because for me, yes, there are some differences, but the body and the soul that I imparted is of a sort of barbecue-esque type meal. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm getting to that stage now where I need a lot of subscriptions. I'm probably not going to make my first target of 1,000. But yeah, thank you and see you again. But for now, that's it.